There's recently been articles popping up saying that it is somehow cheaper to fly to Tokyo, Japan, go to Tokyo Disneyland, get a hotel, and fly back than it is to go to Disney World in Orlando, Florida. And that just shows that one, Tokyo Disneyland is pretty reasonably priced, and two, Disney World is way too expensive. Now, I'm not gonna lie, seeing these articles made me want to go to Tokyo Disneyland. I mean, I've always wanted to go. I hear great things about it. I've heard Tokyo Disney Sea is the greatest Disney theme park ever. So, yeah, I'm intrigued. But before I or you start booking your flight to Tokyo, there are a few things to consider. The first thing to consider is that you're going to be on a very long flight to Tokyo. And if you're a nervous flyer like me, that's going to be a problem. Now, I have done a 13-hour flight before, but I did not like it. Nothing bad happened. I don't like flying. And before that, the longest flight I did was 3 hours. So having to be in a plane up in the sky for 13 hours was very long. And by the time I got to hour 5, I was ready to land, even though we were above the ocean. My crazy self actually thought that landing in the ocean and possibly getting eaten by sharks was somehow better than the alternative, which was what we did. And what we did was fly the remaining 8 hours and land safely. So I'm just saying, if you're a nervous flyer like me, um, you might want to consider the fact that it's going to be a long flight. The second thing I would consider before going to Tokyo Disneyland is that if you go to Tokyo, you probably want to visit more than just Tokyo Disneyland. If you go to Disney World, you might spend a day or two at Universal, you might spend a day at Daytona Beach, but that's about it. But if you go to Tokyo and you've never been like me, you're going to want to visit not just Tokyo Disneyland, but all of Japan. So for me, I would probably want to spend at least 2 weeks in Japan. And I know Disney World is expensive, but I think if you spend a week at Disney World, it should possibly be cheaper than going to Tokyo, spending 2 weeks in Japan, and flying back. But I don't know. Disney World is crazy expensive, so you never know. And the final thing I would consider before going to Tokyo Disneyland is earthquakes. Japan does occasionally have earthquakes, whereas Disney World doesn't have earthquakes. They have hurricanes, which aren't great, but that's something that you know about days before it happens. Earthquakes, on the other hand, are completely random. And if you're someone like me who hasn't really lived in a place that has earthquakes and has never experienced an earthquake and has a belief that land should not shake, then you should probably consider that. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't go to Tokyo Disneyland because there may or may not be an earthquake, but just, be prepared just in case an earthquake happens. I'm not quite sure how you would prepare for an earthquake, but, don't freak out. Don't act like Godzilla's coming, and you should be fine. But those are just some things to consider before you book your trip to Tokyo Disneyland. I hope everyone learned something today. And if the only thing you learned is that Disney World is way too expensive, then that's all you need to know, really. Well, what do you think about a Disney World trip being more expensive than flying to Tokyo, going to Tokyo Disneyland, getting a hotel, and flying back. Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I'm Running Man, and I'll see you next time.